Fitz gave a tremendous tug and snapped right out of his collar. He bolted straight ahead through the open door, with Alan running right behind.
Okay. Fitz, stop, you bad dog, cried Alan, but the dog simply ignored him. Down, shallow path across sunny lawns they raced, deeper. Okay. Deeper and deeper into the garden. Finally, Alan drew close enough to grab hold of Fritz. But as he reached out, he slipped and fell. Fritz barked with laughter as he got out of sight. Alan slowly picked himself up. He knew he had to find Fritz before Mr. Gazassi discovered him. Bruised and tired, he hurried off in the dog's direction. After a long search, Alan was ready to give up. He was afraid he might never find Fritz. But then he came upon Fritz's dog print. Slowly he followed Fritz's tracks along a path that led into a forest. The dirt path ended and the brick walk began. There were no more tracks to follow, but Alan was certain that Fritz must be just ahead.
Alan started running in front of him. He could see a clearing in the forest. As he came dashing out of the woods, he stopped as quickly as if he ran up against a wall. For there, in front of him, stood a truly awesome sight. It was the house of Gassi. Alan nervously climbed the great stairs, convinced Fritz had come this way and had been captured.
The boy's heart was pounding when he arrived at the huge door. He took a deep breath and reached for the bell. But before he touched the door swung open, therefore in the cell of the hallway stood Gassi the Great. "Greetings, do come in," was all that he said.
Alan followed Gassi into a large room. When the magician turned around, Alan quickly apologized for letting Fitz into the garden. He politely asked that if Mr. Gassi and Fitz would have please give him back. The magician listened carefully and then smiling said, "Certainly, you may have your little Fitzy. Follow me." With those words he went to the door, led Alan back outside. They were walking across the lawn when suddenly Gassi stopped by a gathering of ducks. He began to speak in a voice that was more like a growl. "I detest dogs that dig up my flowers. They chew on my trees. Do you know what I do to dogs I find in my garden?" "What?" whispered Alan, almost afraid to hear the answer. "I turn them into ducks." "Hello, Gassi." In our Alan looked at the birds in front of him. When one duck came forward, Gassi said, "There's your Fitz." Alan begged the magician to change Fitz back. "Impossible," he answered. Only time can do that. This spell may last years, or perhaps just a day. Now take your dear bird, and please don't come again."
Alright, when Alan took the bird in his arms, he tried to give him a bite. "Good old boy," said Alan sadly, as he patted the bird on the head. "You really haven't changed so much." With tears in his eyes, he started for home. Behind him, Alan could hear Gazassi laughing. As he approached the stairway, a gust of wind took Alan's hat sailing right off his head. Running along with one arm, reaching for the hat, Alan lost his hat on Fred. The duck flew out ahead and grabbed on his hat in midair. But instead of landing, he just kept on flying, higher and higher until he disappeared in the afternoon clouds. Alan just stood and stared at the empty sky. "Goodbye, old fellow," he called out sadly. Sure that Fred was gone forever. At least he had something to chew on. Slowly, one step after Alan found his way.
On his way back to the garden gate and over the bridge.
It was sunset by the time he reached Miss Hester's. The lights were on and he knew she must be home. With a heavy heart, he approached the door, wondering how Miss Hester would take the news. Your turn.
When Miss Hester came to the door, Alan blurted out his incredible story. He could barely hold back the tears. Then, racing out of the kitchen, dog food on his nose, came Fitz. Alan couldn't believe his eyes. "I'm afraid Mr. Gassi played a trick on you," said Miss Hester, trying to hide a smile. Fitz was in front yard when I returned. He must have found his own way home while you were with Mr. Gassi. You see, Alan, no one can really turn dogs into ducks. That old magician just made you think that Doug was Fitz.
Alan felt very sad. He promised that he forgot that he never forgot that. He was too old to believe magic. He said to watch him from the porch and then waved goodbye and called down to go home. Then she called down to face the Pacific went around the front yard. He came trotting out the front steps of 7 inch now and dropped it at Miss Hess's feet. Why you better? She said. What are you doing with Alan's hat? Okay, here is the first star number 1.
How would you describe of the dumb Gumshoe's personality? Use details from the story. How would you describe the magician?
The magician has a hat.
No, the magician is the one who said that he turned the dog into a duck. That's him.
Yes.
How would you describe his personality? He seems pretty strict, right?
Yes.
How do you think Fitz the dog ended up with Alan's hat?
I think the bird hat ate the hat.
Yeah. So then, how do you think the dog got the hat? Because remember in the story, he says that he turned him into a duck, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he turned him into a duck?
Yeah.
So then write that.
Yeah. I remember.
He turned him into a duck, and that's when he put the hat, right?
Yeah.
Good job.
Why does Miss Hester believe that our dog exactly had played a trick on Alan? Do you agree with her?
Why do you think she thinks it was a trick?
It was a trick on Alan because he turned into a duck.
But do you think the trick was real or fake?
The trick was fake.
It was fake. That's why she doesn't believe it, right?
Yes.
Do you agree with her that the trick was fake?
I agree.
Okay.
Now let's see what. How does Chris Osborne make this story seem so mysterious? Give examples from the story.
He makes it mysterious when the duck bites the hat, right?
Yes.
And then the dog
He
ends
makes
up
a
with,
mystery.
yes. And then the dog ends up with the hat, right? That's the mystery right there.
Yes. So, do you think Alan will ever go back into Dog Guy's garden? Would you go into the garden if given the chance? Explain or ask.
What do you think?
Alan will never go back to our Dog Guy's garden.
Okay. If you had the chance to go into the garden, would you?
Yeah, I would have a chance to go to the garden.
You would go to the garden or no?
I would go.
Okay.
Morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Mr. Fredrickson. You ready to go?
Ready as I'll ever be. Would you do me a favor and take this? I'll meet you at the van in just a minute.
Compare Dragon Iron Race Dragon to have Dog Guy's garden. The garden has the Dragon Island has dragon eggs.
They both are fake stories, right?
Yeah.
Pretend?
Yeah.
Because there's no real dragon, is there?
Yeah.
There's not a real magician that can turn a dog into a duck, right? Or is there? Do you believe someone can turn a dog into a duck?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I think that's it.
I'll send you a postcard from Canada.
I'm just thinking duck. This is true. Now we're going to get the Reading California traditions.
tradition.
Yes.
This one?
Yes. Go, man.
You want to start off with this one?
Yes. A kayak. Now, what's it?
Okay. Day 1.
Here goes. A kayak never knew. The other dogs knew it too. Some had run it many times, the others had never run it at all. But not the dog wanted to be left behind. It was after door race day. 1151 miles of wind, snow, and rugged trail lay ahead from Anchorage to Nome. The kayak had led the team through 7 races and knew the trail better than any dog. She had brought him 5th, 3rd, and 2nd, but had never won. She was 10 years old now. This was her last chance. Now they must win now. Crack! The race was underway. One by one, 58 teams took off for Nome. Here it goes, day 2.
Day 2. Come on, old girl. Show 'em how. Mick called. How? Mick worked the 16 dogs team through a kayak, calling how when she needed the dogs to turn left and gee to go right. Mick was the mercer, but the team followed the leader dog. The team followed a kayak. Through steep climbs and dangerous descents, icy waters and confusing trails, Akaya always found the safest and fastest way. She never got lost.
Day 3. A kayak and Squinty, Big Boy, Fiddy, Roscoe, and the rest of the team pondered across the snow for 3 days. The dogs were ready to break out, but Mick held them back. There was the right time, but not yet. High in the Alaska range, they caught up to Wade Ketchum in the first place. It was his team that had beaten them by just 1 minute last year. Following the rules, Wade pulled over and allowed Mick's team to pass. That old dog will never make it. He laughed at a kayak across the beach line. She'll be waiting for you at home, Mick vowed. Now your turn.
Day 4. High in the Cosmic Mountains, they passed tall Tim Bone's team and moved into 2nd place. Just after Mick's team made its move, they raced by Whistling Pierce's team to take over 1st place. Ketchum made his move too. His team clung to Mick's like a shadow. Akaya and her team now had to break trail through deep snow. It was tough going, but the Ophir checking point, Akaya was limping. The deep snow had jammed up one of her paws and made it sore. Mick tended to her as Ketchum raced by and took 1st place from them. You can't run on that paw, old girl, Mick said to her. With a day's rest, it will heal. But the team can't wait here a day. We've got to go without you. You'll be flung